What's up, y'all? I have Joel Williams of Nobody Customs here today. We're going to do 10 questions with him plus a bonus round.
Bonus round.
Yeah, they're quick fire questions. You're going to like those. So, Joel and his lovely wife Suzanne owns Nobody Customs. I'm in their newest edition, their shop that they just built, which is absolutely amazing. I got a tour, which is Louisiana for tour. Okay, so got a fancy tour of this place. And I thought there was two things that I wanted to show out here as our backdrop. We have a television, we have vintage hot rod magazines, and we have a fire exit. So if there's a fire or anything like that, Joel and I have a safe place to get away. That's so hopefully there's no fire. And why I say that is we're using a pink candle as our microphone base. So safety first. So Joel, I wanted to ask a few little introductory questions to you. We've been friends for a long time and all, but can you tell me how long, when did you start, being around hot rods? Is this something that happened when you were a teen or older or?
Okay, pretty much all my life. I was the youngest, grew up on a farm. I was the youngest. My brothers were all in the cars. My dad was in the cars. We were kind of the local repair shop as well. So, we fixed tractors, fixed cars, fixed trucks, fixed everything. All had cars, just been around it all my life.
And then you eventually joined the Army. Is where you met your lovely, and I'm going to use lovely wife Suzanne as my description of her every time.
Yeah.
You met her in the Army, and then y'all were actually, I think, stationed in Germany. Was that before you were? I know you were deployed to Iraq, but was this before or after you ended up in Germany and you kind of slipped into cars there?
Well, we were always in cars, I guess. We met at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and then we went to Germany. And while we were in Germany, a buddy of mine and I, we had a shop and we worked on cars and repaired cars and built cars. And then we also were with a car club and we went around the air bases with the military and we set up drag races with the locals.
That's awesome.
And then so it was the military and locals, and we would have drag races at the airstrips, and we kind of went around setting those up.
That's
Very
fantastic. Cool. And then you ended up back in the States, and then you were involved in, was it truck building, or were you still doing restoration, or what?
We were, yes and yes. We had, I worked for a truck equipment manufacturer. We were a modification center for General Motors. And then also I had a shop of my own, and we were in Wisconsin. We were coming down south, buying cars, taking them back up, selling them, building them. And then my brother and I also had a restoration hot rod shop. And we had a few guys working for us. So, yeah, I was a lot of cars, a lot of car stuff. Yeah, a lot of cars.
Now, tell me how Nobody Customs come to, and then a little bit of information about the name Nobody.
Okay. Actually, while I was working on cars, doing stuff, and people would always come in, and I didn't realize it. My lovely wife is who realized it, and they would always come in, and I would always take the job on, and they would always say, I'm so glad I found you because nobody will do it, nobody will work on it, and they were always saying that. And one day my wife said, "You realize you're nobody?" And I said, "Well, thanks, babe, I appreciate that." She said, "No, everybody that comes in says that nobody will do this job, but you always do." And so that's where Nobody Customs comes from, because we do the stuff that nobody does.
That's awesome. And I've seen some amazing work that's come through here. All right, we're going to jump into these 10 questions. You ready, Joel?
I guess. I'm ready.
All right. The first one, what is your daily driver? What do you drive every day?
Well, I don't drive much because I work at home.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple of vehicles. I've got a 73 Ford F-250, a.k.a. the Turd.
The Turd, yes.
And I've got a 96 Dodge 3500, but we also have a new Dodge 2500 that we use for pulling our trailer for work.
Nice, yeah. And I've got several. I see there's, if you need to pick a car up on a flatbed or an enclosed, y'all are fully capable to do that, which is awesome. Second question, which I'm glad you mentioned that in the first. Tell me about the Turd and why it's called the Turd, because I was fortunate. I got to drive it last time I was here in Shreveport to haul my MG, and I wanted to keep driving. I didn't want to come back and go, I don't know what happened to it.
Well, okay, it was a truck that we picked up. Originally, it was owned by simple church that we go to, actually.
Yeah.
And the motor was bad. We picked it up, and we brought it out, and of course, kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
We rebuilt a 390 in it, new C6, and then, of course, it went to all the brakes, new air conditioning, aluminum radiator, electric fans, just got out of control a bit. But it's just a work truck. It is. And it's brown, and everything.
The name.
Yeah. So the guys in the shop started calling it the turd, so it just stuck. It's the turd.
We get that for sure. Tell me about your first, and I use the word cool car. What do you think your first car was that you're like, hey man, I'm in a cool car?
Well, actually, I was pretty fortunate. Like I said, I grew up around cars. I had older brothers that were into cars. My dad was into cars. So actually, my first car was a 70 Chevelle.
Oh, nice.
So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome for a first ride too.
But it was not so awesome. I paid $300 for it.
Heck yeah.
So it wasn't that awesome when I got it. But we did a lot of work. We did engine, trans, paint. We did the whole build on it. Learned a lot, did a lot. But that was my first car, and I guess it was pretty cool.
Well, I have to ask you this, and this isn't in the 10 questions, but Jake, your son, who's awesome, he runs social media up here, and social media manager, runs marketing and stuff, whatever. Did he have a car that cool as his first one? What did he have?
Well, he had a truck.
He had a truck?
He had an 84 Chevy C10.
Oh, nice.
Fleet side, short bed. And once again, we went through it all, new motor, trans, paint, interior. It was nice.
I think that I've seen that car blasting down the Highway 80 drag strip, but we're going to go on the next question after that. This number 4, you grew up on a farm, and it was a dairy farm, correct?
Yes,
I would like you to tell everyone, Sherwin, your dad had some PPE, some eye protection, eye pro, for when you were welding. Would you describe that to folks that are listening today? And feel free to have a beer, Joe.
Okay, I will. It was really great PPE, actually. I think I told Chris about this. That's where this is coming from, I'm sure. But we had a stick welder, and all it was a piece of plywood. It was cut out, and it had a little handle on it. And it just had a welding lens held in the back by some bent over nails. And you would hold that up like this, and you'd strike an arc, and you'd hold it, and that was our welding.
Is that something that your guys use here?
Same one.
But
we took it, got the pattern from it.
Yeah. Y'all pass. Oh, so everyone else, you're not just passing around the same.
Oh no,
one.
no. We're big time. We used a whole sheet of plywood and built several. Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but my dad for my 8th birthday bought me a jigsaw, and my mom's like, he'll saw his arm off. And I'm going to reply with what my dad said. It's not really correct for this environment, but he was like, no, he's not an idiot. He's not going to do that. Okay, this is kind of a hard one. If you were to have only one car, like at this time, to drive, like not your daily driver or whatever, but your custom or restore car, what would you choose as the one car?
That's actually an easy one. We have a 59 Rambler station wagon. It's pink.
Yes.
Metal flake top. Its name is Walter, and it's named Walter after my dad. When we bought the car, it was Williams is our last name. The people we bought it from, their last name was Williams, and the name in the door was the same initials as what my dad was, and that was his grandfather that owned the car. So when we bought it, we named it Walter, and that's it. My dad passed away last year. Definitely the car I would do and keep forever.
That's what I like to hear. And I see we talk about Walter all the time. It's a really cool car, and we actually need to do some video and check it out one day and have you explain it, or I know Jake will probably do that. Could you explain, like, I know this is kind of hard to do, but what services does Nobody Customs provide? Like, what can you do?
When it comes to classics and hot rods, really anything. We got a full-on mechanic shop. We do, we work on late model engines. We've had Model A's in here, redoing original Model A's. We've done flathead Fords. We've done small block Chevys, Mopars, Fords. We do late model LS swaps. We got a Coyote swap going. So really anything old and new, suspension, air conditioning, wiring, chassis work, fab work. That's in the mechanical shop. And then we do full restorations and full custom builds, full-on body shop, paint booth.
I've seen
everything.
Everything from tractors, British cars, Land Cruisers, Rolls, Corvette. Like every time I come in here, I see something different. So it's just a wide range. So you basically can restore.
We can do whatever.
That's what I like here. What nobody wants to do.
That's right. That's right.
This is a question. What is the difference between an English wheel and an American wheel? That's just for me. Is there a difference in that?
Just spelled different.
Okay, that's the answer. That's what I need. We are actually having some Miller today. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Do you have a favorite? Does nobody have a favorite beer?
Oh, here we go. Well, I guess right now, I'd have to say Miller Lite.
Miller Lite.
Yeah.
But
as I age gracefully, I tone it down. So.
There you go. There you go. It's an all-day drinking beer.
That's right.
My favorite beer has
I can get up
become
the next
cold
day and
beer.
work.
There you exactly. Tell me about your shop dogs.
Shop dogs. Okay, we have Deuce, our boxer, and we have Mitty, who is a little wiener dog.
You know, I love the wiener dogs.
And she's the little badass of the group. Definitely.
They're awesome. Last question before we go to the rapid fire questions. Suzanne, your lovely wife, as I've mentioned that every time. What does Suzanne not do around here?
Well, she pretty much runs the show, more or less. She really does. You know, she feels as though sometimes she's not, but she handles everything. Handles all the billing, handles all of the hours and labor and paying the guys, all the parts, all the ordering, keeping supplies, pretty much everything that keeps it running. And then I just go around and mess around in the shop.
That's what I'm talking
she
about.
She pretty much handles it, yeah.
Out of both of y'all, it's probably Suzanne, the dogs, Walter, the vehicle, one of your air compressors, air purification, the sled, the pool table, and then you. It's my list of favorite things around here. So
that's pretty much how the rank goes here. That's about right.
All right, you ready for these rapid fire?
No, but go ahead.
Okay, these can be like yes, no, maybe, pass, or just a specific answer. Okay, there's only 8 of them, so they're pretty easy.
Okay.
Small block or big block?
Small block.
Small block. Stick or automatic?
Stick.
Stick? That's what I'm talking. Is it a dull ride without oxide, meaning nitrous oxide?
Not necessarily.
Not
no.
necessarily? Okay. NASCAR or drag racing?
I like them both, but I'd say drag racing.
Carburetor or electronic fuel injection?
Carburetor.
Carburetor. Okay, this is just one I'm adding in here. Do you think that people get electronic fuel injection because they don't know how to tune out a carburetor? You don't have to answer that.
That's probably good if I don't answer that.
Metric or standard?
Standard.
Do you know where all of your 10 millimeter sockets are?
No.
Does anyone?
Does anyone?
How many 10 millimeter sockets have you bought in your lifetime?
I don't know, but I do know that we went to SEMA and there was a company there handing out free 10 millimeter sockets.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we kept walking back and forth getting them.
And my last question is the most difficult one that I've posed yet. Are you ready for this? And you remember you can use Packers or Saints?
Packers.
Oh my God.
Die
Drew
hard.
Brees, I hope you're not watching this.
Sorry, Saints are second for me, but I'm a Saints fan unless they're playing the Packers, which they will be playing September 27th in New Orleans, and we're going to be there.
That's what I'm talking about. Joel, I appreciate it. I value you as a friend. I value Suzanne a little bit more. But I appreciate your time, and I thank you for sharing this with you, and I hope that people will get a little insight to what y'all are about. And thank y'all for watching this.
Thank you.
In the comments, I'll put links to Joel's website and their Instagram where you can give them a follow.
Great.
Bye, y'all.